Libra, December 2019, with me, Lada from astrolada.com, and this is for everyone who has their sun, moon, or rising in Libra. Please do check your rising sign. It always tends to show the most tangible results because the rising sign is your physical body. But if you have time, also the moon sign for women, the sun sign as well. So I have great news. Let's first start with a little recap for the last 2 years. Since Saturn entered your fourth house, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 from Libra is Capricorn, where Saturn has been for 2 years. And many Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising people were coming to me and saying that, oh, they have a lot of responsibilities and duties at home. Often when Saturn transits the fourth house, one can feel a bit emotionally more down because the fourth house rules how you're feeling, your sense of happiness within. And when Saturn is there, it has the energy of winter. So you can feel like emotionally a bit more stagnant, unable to express feelings naturally, maybe more restrained emotionally, maybe more emotionally beating yourself down as well. Maybe patterns, karmic patterns were awakened in the last 2 years, which were karmic patterns from family. The fourth house rules family. For example, was your mom depressed, or did your family suffer from a similar fate, the different family members, something like that? Such family karma might have gotten unlocked for you in the last 1 or 2 years since Saturn's been there. And some of you might have had to deal with taking care of elderly parents. Saturn is older people and responsibilities, or having some of them might have had problems with parents, like there might have been issues in the life of parents that Saturn tends to culminate as the planet of karma after all, or in the emotional relationship with parents. Sometimes resentments can appear, or sometimes hard things from the past can resurface, so they can be worked through while Saturn is there. But the working through happens slowly, the realization happens slowly. Also, the kind of hostilities between family members sometimes can increase. Or on another level, it might have meant that you've had a lot of responsibilities with home or property. For example, trying to sell, buy property that has been burdensome, you had to try over and over, or it has been stagnant. Another thing is you might have started building a home, or you've been trying to relocate, but Saturn is making these tasks really more delayed, slower, with trying to fix mistakes all the time. Oh, you're doing repairs at your home, and Saturn's been delaying those again, making them slower, burdensome, some kind of stresses or testing with your perseverance in matters of family relationships, emotional happiness, the past. Again, often people even start working with psychologists when Saturn turns to their fourth house. They try to dig through their family tree to understand, because when issues come in your life, when Saturn transits the fourth house, they usually family inherited issues. And when you work with psychologists or with astrology or any such kind of a system that makes you look within, you can kind of slowly work through those issues. But or others is just fourth house is parenthood. Others had like heavy responsibilities, like my husband, who is Libra rising, with parenthood, and they just had to take care daily grind of babies, and it was difficult and hard. But Saturn also manifests in its own sign. It might have manifested a family, for some of you. But now Jupiter is joining Saturn, so all of those issues, if you've been having home, property, family, when Jupiter enters, starting from December, for 1 year it will be there. By the end of 2020, when Jupiter moves out of Capricorn, of your fourth house, you'd have resolved family problems. And gradually from this December, you start feeling that there is maybe some help coming. If you're a parent and you're burdened with responsibilities with parenthood, some help is coming. Some burden is lifting off your shoulders there. That is becoming easier. If you're having problems with your parents, that the relationship starts improving. Or maybe if you've been having the burden of taking care of all the relatives or family members, that there will be some release coming in 2020, that there will be either help somehow, or you're being released from that responsibilities. If you've been living in this environment that is not productive to your happiness, that you've been feeling like stuck because of it, or Saturn can indicate like older houses, so it can indicate houses that things that break down around the house or whatever. Now Jupiter, when it enters this fourth house, will bring a facelift to everything in your home environment. You might be able to expand your house. You might be able to buy a new property. You might be able to finally find a place that feels like home, that you don't feel like, oh, I'm in the middle of the Antarctica here. I mean, you might be living in LA, but you might feel like, oh, my heart is so cold here. It's like a lot of Libras were telling me that they were unhappy with their living circumstances now, or the place they live, they don't feel so fully well there or something. And when Jupiter enters this fourth house, finally things will start improving for you. There will be an opportunity to find the right home, or to complete renovations, expand the house, or, you know, all of those things that we talked about. And funny enough, my husband is Libra, and for the past 2.5 years, we've been wondering where to live, back and forth. So finally, maybe we'll be able to get a new house. And of course, when Saturn was only there, it also can make you, because it's a known sign, it can make you really do those things well, but it takes longer, and it's a drawn out process. And now finally you can find the right spot to live. You can find the place, and especially it's noticeable if your moon or rising is in Libra, not so much the sun, you know. But definitely going to start seeing improvement in everything connected to home, family, emotional well-being, expression of feelings, to release some family karma and some healing of, and maybe if your mother has been having problems. For example, my husband, his mom's been out of work almost for 2.5 years, been living with us on and off, because she finds jobs, she loses, and it's Saturn is problems, difficulties, fourth house, mother or parent. So when Jupiter enters, I'm sure my husband's fourth house, finally she'll be able to find the right job for her, to find peace, something good to happen in her life as well. So, you know, or if there's problems with your parents and stuff, or with documents to take citizenship. The fourth house is that when Jupiter enters this fourth house, all of those things will come to pass in a positive, beautiful way. And people that are in careers that is real estate, that are connected to nursing, to guarding, protecting, policing as well, neighborhood policing or whatever, which is all fourth house careers, or hotels, hospitality, catering, they're gonna start seeing such improvement in their career. They're gonna start seeing so much better results through 2020. But now let's focus specifically in the year. And if you want to know more, I speak way more in depth about 2020 and this Jupiter, Saturn, and everything else that's happening in my video horoscope for Libra and the 12 signs. It's $9.99 only, and it's almost 2 hours, 1 hour and a half. It's super in depth, and it's my most prized work. I'm worked on them for 3 months. We had 10,000 people order them because they loved them from last year without any refunds. So take yours if you haven't yet. You won't regret it, I promise you. Also, let's see how December is going to be in particular. Yes, this is going to all start happening because Jupiter is already entering from, you see, from the beginning, from the 2nd of December in Capricorn. You're going to start seeing those little seeds of the wind changing into your direction in regards to everything fourth house, which is family, emotional well-being and such. But yes, and that's is the calendar for 2019 for December. The 2020 calendar is out. It's 30% off. It's only $20, and it's 118 pages. It's interactive. You click here and you read what Jupiter and Capricorn means. You click here and you read what Mars sextile Saturn means. And yes, so you have it for the next 2 weeks only at 30% off at $20. Okay, so but first of all, Jupiter is becoming invisible in your fourth house in December, and so is Saturn becoming invisible in your fourth house in December. What can it mean? When a planet becomes invisible, you can complete something. first. So you might complete around that time something, a home project, a work project, some home work project at home, something that's connected to your home, or some home responsibility or family responsibility might end, for example, and it can be good because you can be relieved of some burden or some difficult responsibility there. But also, it can be in extreme cases that a family member leaves, disappears. I'm not saying they'll be kidnapped or something, but goes away or something. It can be that living contract finishes for you, like a place that you've been renting, it expires and it ends, or that if you have tenants that are renting a place of yours, that it can also end or expire or something, the doors to something close, connected to home, to property, or to vehicles. And what can happen is that, though, don't worry, because then eclipse on the 26th, it's a new moon, which means new beginnings, and it's with Jupiter, opportunities. The new moon eclipse in your 4th house, again, it's happening there, everything is happening there, will bring a new powerful opportunity for you after the 26th or around that time. Or maybe you'll notice the results within the next 6 months after that, in regards to either a new home, new property, new real estate deal. If you're in those careers as well, it might be like some projects is ending there, some job opportunities ending there, but new ones will come. Don't worry. If something ends in regards to that 4th house, new such ones come. But if a family member, in extreme case, might be the death of a family member, that's very rare. But the planet disappearing in your 4th house in extreme cases can mean that. Well, then I can't tell you that there will be new one appearing, but it's, I don't want to scare you, just putting this out there. But if anything else, it's usually more on the mundane level, but new opportunities will appear, new such things. You might have to sacrifice something for the family, but new amazing opportunities appear on the personal level after the 26th. Another important thing is that Mercury is entering Sagittarius. And for you, Libra, this is your 3rd house. So you'll be very busy with communications after the 9th of December till the end. A lot of conversations, a lot of talks, a lot of phone calls, Facebook, social media. If you're in marketing, advertising will be very good time, because Mercury is perfect passing through that 3rd house, in media, in writing, in speaking. It really alerts your mind, keeps it more alert, brings a lot of such activities in such businesses that are about writing, speaking, communicating information. It can indicate also some kind of new project, marketing, or working in a small group environment, in an office environment. It can indicate hearing from people. It can indicate short trips. So from the 9th onwards, you can take some short trips, 2-3 days somewhere. They can definitely happen. You can have more travels around that time. You can be way more active, talking, writing, speaking, being involved with sales. 3rd house is that. And because Mercury is moving direct, things go as you planned in such matters. Communications with others as well. Mercury becomes invisible, though, disappears in Sagittarius after the 20th. So that it means that you might complete some marketing or commercial projects around the 20th and see the results of it. You might complete some writing project, some report. You might complete some business meetings or some business negotiations around that time, or you might complete some communication, or maybe you might complete communication with some workmates. Some workmates can leave your life, or a neighbor can leave, or relationship with a neighbor can finish, or work relationship of some sort, or with a friend of some sort, because when planet disappears in your 3rd house, it can mean such people disappear. So I'm not saying they're dying, don't worry. And some kind of, or it can be just you finish some project that is of the mind, that you're using your skills there. So try and wrap it up by then, and you'll see the results by then. And then we have what's happening else. Saturn, we're talking becoming invisible, and then we're going to have Venus at the same time that Mercury is disappearing, becoming visible in your, where's that, fifth house. And whatever, good influence, whatever Venus becomes visible, and that's from the 20th of December till around the middle of January. Whenever Venus goes, you really enjoy for about 20-25 days that area of your life a lot more. And the fifth house is to have fun. So, you know, Libras, and wherever Venus goes for you, it's so important because you are ruled by Venus. So you go to this fifth house, and you're going to be, after the 20th, really focus on festivities, on fun. Fifth house is to enjoy yourself, amusement. So some good parties, you can shine, you can be center of attention as well, because the fifth house is to be on the stage, to be not only recognized, but if you're a performer, for example, it can mean like a really good performance that comes, or really good, that you feel really well on the stage. Or if you're in creative, anything creative, music, art, making your own business, you can definitely get more full of ideas. You get more inspiration during that time. Things can flow with those creative projects. You can really get focused also on hobbies, enjoyments that you love, on whether they're more sporty ones or whether they're more, because it's Venus, I think there will be more enjoyments that are more of the relaxing type. And the fifth house is romance, of course. So that can indicate definitely a way more romantic period for you. So if you've been too much, you know, focused on home and family or whatever else, or career with Rahu transiting your 10th house for the past year or something. Well, now for about 20 days, when Venus is there from the 20th, you're gonna get a bit more fun. You might get a bit more sex from your romantic partners, or more romantic moments, more enjoyments. You can rekindle for short periods the love, the spark, and you just gonna feel like letting your hair down a little bit, and you're not gonna feel guilty about it, and you will enjoy it. You're gonna have such opportunities to have fun around romantically. Also, dating online. Venus is in Aquarius. Networks or friends. You can meet romantically a love interest through friends or through internet or through some other interconnected network of like-minded people, or you can just have very pleasant experiences with the already existing partner. And it's your children as well. Your children can become sweeter or easier for a little bit. You can feel more joyful there in such moments. Okay, there we go. I think that's most of it. And thank you so much, Libras. I hope I brought to you some of your good news. There's so much more happening next year, though. Mars will be retrograde in your 7th house. That's such a crazy year for Libras. And for all the cardinal signs, not in a bad way, very dynamic. They'll be activated by a partner the second part of the year. It's like your relationship status will rarely stay the same, or something huge will change if you have a partner with them. But anyway, that's in the 2020 videos. You can check them out for $9.99 at astrolada.com. I'm putting a link for it below. It's an hour and a half video, or you can just purchase also the astrology calendar for 2020 with all the important astrological events for 30% off till the 15th of December. I love you, and happy Merry Christmas, and enjoy that Jupiter in the 4th house, taking the pressure off of your emotional and personal life.